Okay, so this is a drawing that I did of a model. Her name is Rita, and I'm just kind of cleaning it up here a little bit. I made a note down here in the corner. It says Rita 10 minutes, so it took me 10 minutes to do this drawing. And what we're going to try to do is do the color in another 10 minutes. It should be about that. So I'm going to just delineate that line a little bit better there, so you can see the difference between her back and her leg. Looking for any other imperfections. I guess that's about it. I see a little bit of smearing in here. I'm going to take that out with a kneaded eraser. Kneaded eraser is the ideal eraser to use when you're working with a watercolor paper, and you just knead it. Use it when you need it. And put that in. Now, let's go ahead and paint. All right. So what I'm going to start off with here is some yellow. And I'm just going to take some yellow and put it in here. I'm going to let the light be coming from the right here. So I'm going to just bring this in here and just kind of water this down, wet this down with a little light yellow wash. If I'm going to use yellow, I always put the yellow in first. This happens to be a Cerulean yellow. It's a very, very potent yellow, but if you water it down, it's manageable. And let's get some here, soften that line a bit there. Let's put some over on the leg here. Hand, foot. So we have two things to blot watercolor with. We have the rag, which I use with the brush, and we have a Kleenex, which I use to take off a puddle or a splash that I make that I don't want to continue to be on the painting. All right, so that's good enough. I'm going to go ahead now and paint in some orange, vermilion color. I'm avoiding the hair. I'm not going to do the hair right away. I'm going to keep the hair for later. I'm being fairly careful now to go right up against my lines and soften the edges as we go here. Good. Notice how I'm spreading the paint on the paper, not using the point of the brush, but using the entire brush to spread the paint on the paper. The water and paint solution. The watercolor is really a water medium, so you really have to remember that you're painting with water here. You're not painting so much with the color, but with the water. And we just put the color into the water to make various shades of color. And when a color lighter, we use more water. And when it's darker, we use more paint. If you want to lighten a color, you lighten a color by adding more white paper to it. So it's the white of the paper that creates the light color. I like that okay so far. Get rid of that little, get that a little bit more even right in there. So let's bring she has a nice shadow under her arm here, so I'm going to be showing that shadow with a blue later. I want to put some color in there right now to show that. Like keeping it fairly light on the right hand side where the light's coming through. I want to get rid of that angle right there. Okay. And get rid of this little piece right in here. There we go. It's a nice soft edge. Now let's put her foot in. Just put her foot in here. I'm going to get those toes kind of dark, the back side like that. I won't do the whole I won't color in the whole foot with that red, but just parts of it, leaving some highlights there. And I think I'm going to go ahead and take that same, match that same color here over here, so it's a little bit darker over here to bring that same color in. So we have that accent there, and then maybe an accent right up in here. So we have kind of 3 points. I think I'll put a little bit of color on her hand here also, but not quite as dark as I have on the foot and on her neck. Yeah, like that. And let's put a little bit of color here on the bottom side of her arm. And let's soften that. And let's soften this. Like so. Okay. Maybe a little bit coming down here on these lines that I've drawn to show her back. Good. Soften this down here, put this light against dark here, and then across the bottom I want that to be fairly dark there, leaving it lighter above. Soften that edge like so. Good. I'm going to take some blue and add blue to it, blue to my orange, making a gray tone. Go ahead and put that in up here. And then wherever I want shadows, I'm going to put in the blue tones. So shadow, 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 or shading and shadow. So I'm going to do this quickly and then take water and soften the edge with the water. There, so we don't have that hard edge there. And soften this blue here, like so. And let's put some dark color on the back of her knee that shows right there. I'm going to add a little bit of red to that. I want that to be fairly dark back there. Here's a case where I use the Kleenex to take that color off of there. Make sure that this is dark right in here. And then the same color back in here so that that leg is showing behind her arm. More of that color there. Soften that edge. So let's get some blue here. And I think I should also put some blue and orange color right down in here. Make this really let her arm come forward with that. I'm going to have to soften that. Just take some clear water and bring it out, soften it up. There we go. This paper's getting really wet there. Starting to buckle and change shape. Let me get this. So as we go, we keep making changes and making the contrast stronger where we think we need it. Okay, soften those edges. Soften these edges here and some dark over here. Okay. And then soften again. Good. Okay, let's take a little bit of blue and some darker shadows and down in the hand here. And then also on the foot here, certain places to make the toes more distinct. And the foot here like so. There we go. All right. Shadow there, shading in there. All right, and then let's see, put some shadow up here, the arm, and looks good. Let's do some hair now. I think I'm going to give her kind of a yellow brown hair. We'll just kind of go and try and leave some lights in the hair. A lot of hair. There we go. Leaving quite a lot of light in the hair. A lot of whites. I think I'll go back and then add a little bit more brown to it, certain places here. Go ahead and fill this in here. Now I'm going to add a little bit of blue and orange in here. Let's take this. I want to take this shadow all the way over to the edge of the sheet. Connect it to the edge of the sheet there. Maybe a little bit more here. Let's take this to the edge of the sheet also. Connect it to both sides of the sheet. Okay. All right, I think maybe the last thing I'm going to do is just put some accents in. So maybe a little bit of accent right here. That'll dry a lot. That'll dry a lot lighter than it is. I mean, a lot less bright than it is, but when it's wet, it always shows. And then let's do another one here. Another accent there to help to tie the composition together. And then another one here. Let's just soften these lines here. There, I think that adds a little bit. Maybe I'll put just a tad of that color over here. Yeah. Okay, I think we're okay. Maybe just do a little bit in here to help with that back. Maybe just a little bit on the spine here. I'm going to add just a little bit more shadow in here. Maybe just a little bit more right in here. that's it. I think I'll just, let's see. I want to stop, but I don't want to stop. A little bit of dark right there. Oh, and I want to get this, I would definitely want to get this shadow that's coming down here on her leg from her arm. Show that. And then soften this here. Okay. Probably there's a shadow across this leg here too. I should probably put that in. Some kind of a shadow here. Something like that. Okay, so we'll let this dry. Okay, so we're just going to finish this one up, and I'm going to add just a little bit of dark to her hair, and just to get some darks in the hair. I think it needs a little bit more contrast in the hair. So I'm using burnt sienna and Prussian blue in my dark here. Take out that little white in there. Get this nice and dark there. Soften these edges a little bit. The hair. Mix up a little more dark here. Maybe put a little bit in here. So just some darks to and some contrast to the hair. Soften that up. Softening edges. Taking away the points. Just get some straight brown in here now. Just add a little more contrast and interest. That's good. The hair is a really important feature to this painting because you can't see her face, so the hair is very important to it. There. I think I'll just let that be now and let's stop. I think everything else is okay for this watercolor sketch. Just a watercolor sketch. You can see it doesn't take too long to put in the colors once you have the drawing done. But the drawing is very important. It's very important that you have a good drawing to start off with. If you don't have a good drawing to start off with, then the painting isn't that much fun. And that's why we do it, to have fun. So I hope you got some value out of this demonstration. You can do it yourself now. All the best and happy painting.